The name Bello Turji has been trending again, and many people across Nigeria and even outside the country are paying attention because something serious is happening around him and his group. For a long time, Bello Turji has been one of the most talked about figures in the security situation of northwest Nigeria. His activities and the activities of people around him have affected many communities, farmlands, and daily life. Now, new developments from recent military actions have changed the balance of power in that area, and that is why this story is so important today. What people are talking about now is that some powerful camps and facilities linked to armed groups in the northwest have been hit by advanced air operations. These operations were carried out with the cooperation of Nigerian security forces and foreign partners. The goal of these operations was to reduce the ability of armed groups to move freely, plan attacks, and control local areas. When those strongholds were taken out, it weakened their communication, their logistics, and their ability to operate as they used to. That is what many people online are describing as a major blow to the network around Bello Turji. Some online headlines say Bello Turji is on the run. What this really means is that, after these air operations, many of the safe places used by these groups were no longer safe. When a group loses its main bases, its leaders usually move around, change locations, and try to avoid being found. That is why people are saying he is running. There is no official statement yet that he has been captured or harmed, but it is clear that the pressure on his network has increased a lot. Now, think about this in a simple way. Imagine a group that depends on certain places to meet, to store supplies, and to plan. When those places are removed, everything becomes difficult for them. They cannot move freely. They cannot organize the same way. This is exactly what has happened. The recent operations have made it harder for these groups to keep their influence, and that is why the story is getting so much attention. At this point, let me remind you to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you do not miss important updates like this. It really helps the channel grow and brings you more clear and trusted news. Many people in Nigeria are watching this closely because it affects security, business, farming, and daily life. When areas become unsafe, people cannot go to their farms, children cannot go to school freely, and traders cannot move goods easily. So when a major armed group becomes weaker, it gives hope to many families that peace can slowly return. That is why, even though this story is about one man and his network, it is really about the future of many communities. Another part of this story is the international side. Nigeria has been working with foreign partners to improve its ability to monitor and respond to security threats. This does not mean that Nigeria has lost control. It simply means that modern technology, intelligence sharing, and cooperation are being used to handle a difficult situation. In today's world, many countries work together to deal with threats that cross borders or affect regional stability. So this kind of cooperation is not unusual. Now, some people online use very strong and dramatic words. But it is important to stay calm and look at facts. What we know is that important facilities used by armed groups were targeted. What we know is that their ability to operate has been reduced. What we do not know yet is the exact situation of Bello Turji himself. So we must be careful not to jump to conclusions. Real news is about confirmed information, not just fast rumors. Still, the impact is real. When leaders of such groups feel pressure, they make mistakes, they lose support, their followers become unsure. This is often how such networks begin to break apart. So, even without dramatic announcements, this change is meaningful. If you are enjoying this breakdown and you want more clear updates like this, please remember again to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your support makes a big difference. Let us also talk about what this means for the future. If security improves in these areas, people can return to their farms, markets can open again, roads can be used more safely. This helps the economy and the quality of life. It also helps young people because they can go to school and think about their future instead of worrying about safety. But this process takes time. One operation does not solve everything. It is part of a longer effort. Security agencies will continue to monitor the situation. Community leaders will also play a role by encouraging peace and cooperation. And the government will have to support rebuilding and development so that people do not feel left behind. This is why this story is bigger than just one headline. It is about whether Nigeria can move closer to stability in places that have suffered for a long time. It is about whether families can live without fear. And it is about whether the influence of armed groups can be reduced so that normal life can return. As we continue to watch how things develop, we will keep bringing you updates in a clear and responsible way. The situation is changing, And every new piece of information helps us understand what is really going on. The story continues to unfold because once a network like this begins to lose its strong points, everything around it starts to shift. People who once depended on fear and control start to look for other ways to survive. Some of them may try to blend back into normal society. Others may move deeper into remote areas. This is why security agencies stay alert after such operations. The goal is not just to make one move, but to keep steady pressure so that the situation does not return to what it was before. Many communities in the affected areas have already started talking about small changes they are seeing. Some farmers feel a bit more confident to go back to their land. Some traders are testing the roads again. These may look like small steps, but they are very important. When people can move, work, and trade, it brings life back to the region. That is how real recovery begins. Now, think about Bello Turji and people like him. Their power has always depended on being able to move freely and keep control over certain territories. When that control is reduced, their influence also goes down. This is why the phrase "on the run" is being used. It is not just about one person moving from one place to another. It is about a whole system losing its balance. We also need to remember that information today spreads very fast. Social media can make stories look bigger or more dramatic than they really are. That is why it is important to wait for official updates and trusted sources. Still, the direction of events is clear. Pressure is increasing, and the space for harmful activities is shrinking. If you are finding this update useful and clear, please do not forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It helps us keep bringing you news that matters to you. Another important part of this story is the message it sends. It shows that no matter how strong a group may look at one time, things can change. Cooperation, technology, and steady effort can make a difference. This also gives hope to people who have been affected for years. They can see that progress is possible, even if it is slow. Looking ahead, the focus will also move to rebuilding. Security alone is not enough. There must be support for schools, hospitals, farming, and small businesses. When people have opportunities, they are less likely to be drawn into trouble. This is how long-term peace is built. So as we watch what happens next with Bello Turji and his network, we should also watch how communities respond, how authorities continue their work, and how life slowly returns to normal in those areas. This is the real story behind the headlines.